short-term rental regulations, again, under scrutiny at city council. Is this the old one? Yes, no, it's the new one. So, okay, this other way. Austin elected officials are again setting their sights on the city's widely unregulated short-term rental market that would revive an issue made waves in 2016 that was tangled up in state courts. So basically what they're trying to do from all of this is they're saying they're not getting enough money from short-term rentals. It's really, really hard to get an Airbnb license right now to be fully licensed. You literally have to either be, here's the 3 ways to do it right here. It's down in this article. There's 3 ways to do it if you want to do it the right way and get licensed. So where is it at? Come on now.
Yeah. You mean to get approved for a new property.
Yeah. So, here's the thing that I'm not quite wrapping my brain around with this. They're saying there's 9,000 to 11,000 short-term rentals that are listed that are not licensed. So they're saying that they're not getting, again, Kevin was talking about this earlier. So they're basically not getting the tax revenue from this for the city. And partly to do with that is back in 2016, they put a ban on a lot of this it was STR2. So basically people that didn't live in a property, if you don't live in a property, you can't rent it out Airbnb. So they put up restrictions on this. And this is what got tangled up is the fact because they weren't back then they were saying is because there's a lot of unruly people causing problems. But the reality is that the city wanted to make money off of it. And even one of the last, what's her name? Vanessa something or other, city council was like, oh, there's a lot of money that could be going to the arts and to these things and to these things that aren't getting paid. So the reality of this just comes down that they want more tax revenue coming in. But what I don't understand is why they don't just license more of these. Like if you want the tax revenue, you just license them. Wouldn't that make sense to you?
Yeah, they want more people to have homes, right? Like that's the rationale behind it. That's the rationale.
Yeah.
It's pandering is what it is. It's pandering to the homeowner in the neighborhood to say, we want you to not have to worry about your home next door being rented out all the time. So they value, I think, more than the revenue from they value the loyalty of the homeowner to the political party. If I'm being honest, is what it is.
Right. Here's what Vanessa Fuentes said. Every single day, the city is losing out on thousands of dollars that go to support the cultural arts, our music community, and the historic preservation of projects. So while you're saying that it's one thing, our city council is saying the exact opposite. Kevin, our city council saying we want more money. That's exactly what she's saying here.
Well, but she's saying that they're in a housing crisis right now and they need to ensure the housing goes to those that need it.
Right.
Right.
That's why
any operations, the status quo could result in significant changes for property investors in the city in the midst of an affordable housing crisis, as well as the technology companies that build short-term rental platforms. So yeah.
And then even then it'll kill arbitrage, right? Real estate rental arbitrage, which is a huge moneymaker where people go, they find homes that are leased that they don't own. They lease them from the landlord and then they put them on Airbnb and they arbitrage the difference. And this is not like this is a massive industry. That industry alone is a massive industry. So it'll kill that.
But isn't that mostly apartment complexes and condos and smaller units? Or is that impacting single family standalone properties a lot?
Well, I also feel like it's again, this is protecting bigger money developers of short-term rental properties, meaning hotels and stuff like that. It's the same thing that the taxi cab companies did when Uber first started. They wanted to regulate it away because they're like, well, they're going to steal revenue from us, and that's more centralized revenue. It wasn't because it was any worse or less of a thing. But I agree with you, Jeremy. I think this is the equivalent of strict parenting, where I believe wholeheartedly that the more restrictions you put on somebody, the more likely they're going to rebel against it, and the less value. I'm with you. Open this up. Hey, you want a short-term rental permit? Boom. Go ahead. We'll give you 90 days. Anybody that wants to put in an application for a short-term rental permit, you get one, right? You just got to go through the process.
Let's be honest. The city of Austin doesn't have the infrastructure to do that as well.
What?
But one thing, you know,
The permits?
if let's say 9,000 people all applied for applications tomorrow and all became compliant, let me explain to you how this works. So here's the math behind this. If they would open it up to allow these 9,000, because there's only 3 ways to get licensed right now. One, you have to actually live in the property. I was trying to pull it up, but I got frustrated. One is to live in the property. 2, you live in a commercial area. And then 3, I forget, it was like a hybrid thing, but it was not that you couldn't, there was nothing that you could just rent it out Airbnb to the city. But let's say they take 9,000 of those. It was $715 or something to that effect just to get a license.
Mm-hmm. And then
That's
$450.
$6.5 million a city could take in revenue if they just approve these.
Not to mention the fact that they could actually treat these like lodging, and they could actually charge an additional tax for lodging to every rental that comes through the Airbnb platforms.
Hold on. So let's hear the math. So you're correct. Yes, you are correct. So to re-up, let's say 9,000 people all paid to have their Airbnbs right now be legit. We're talking $6.5 million is the bottom line. Secondly, if they renew, it's $450 something. You're talking another $4 million a year in revenue.
Annually, yeah.
Annual revenue. And that's not new people. That's just the 9,000 that they're saying are illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking $10 million over 2 years off of what they say is illegal right now if all of them did that. And there's going to be others that aren't going to do that. So why wouldn't they just figure out a way to make it, figure out a way to police it better? For $6 million, you could hire people to police it better.
Well, and then the state hotel occupancy tax rate is 6%. And then so the city can actually have one too.
We didn't even, it's 6%.
It'd be probably 10% because the city can actually have a lodging tax as well. So they'd make 10% on all the rentals that came through every one of those 9,000 properties all year long anyway. But I think it's more like, again, it's protecting the homeowners, and it's more of a pandering thing to the homeowners to say that we're loyal to you, the homeowner, and we want people to live in the houses that are going to be here, and not let everybody just run rampant with short-term rentals. Personally, I think the short-term rental market's going to even itself out over time anyway. A lot of people that bought properties in these years, they're using them as Airbnbs, and demand is not going to stay. It can't stay as high as it has been in the past, and people saw that it was a downturn in that. But you could do like Atlanta. You saw what Atlanta was doing, right?
No, they did.
Okay, so Atlanta only allows you to have 2 properties that you can Airbnb, the one that you live in, and 1 additional property as an investment. Other than that, you cannot do any additional properties.
Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.